You're listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to the Cult of Campbell.
Hello.
Yay!
I'm Ty.
I'm Ian.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Ursa.
And today, we are taking a look at the big budget sci-fi blockbuster, 2005's Alien Apocalypse.
Not groovy. Wait. Oh, wait. Sorry. Got ahead of myself.
Alien Apocalypse was written and directed by Josh Becker, starring Renee O'Connor, Remington Franklin, Peter Jason, Michael Corey Davis, and of course, Bruce Campbell.
Baby.
Oh yeah, it had a runtime of 88 long minutes
We felt all 88.
Yeah, you felt all 88.
and a budget of $1.5 million.
Which
Estimated.
bullshit.
Estimated.
Bullshit. I'm calling it.
That was a rough estimation. I have to believe that's a rough estimation. So,
Maybe 1.5 thousand.
Shot in Bulgaria.
yeah.
Shot in Bulgaria.
So if any of you guys are like huge cinephiles, you should recognize more than a couple of those names as being like Xena alumni.
Yep.
Yeah.
Renee O'Connor, Josh Becker wrote and directed a few episodes. Of course, Bruce Campbell. So
Naturally.
Yep.
yeah, there's some history here between these filmmakers, this team. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But I think we should go ahead and talk about this a little more
Oh, heck
in
yeah.
our next segment. Let's get groovy.
Grab your boomstick and fire up the Delta. It's time for ACTION. Join the Cult of Campbell. Groovy.
And if you're lucky a little later, I'll let you play with my
So this was my very first time seeing this movie. Tyler, you saw it before.
I
right?
saw this. I think this is my third time watching it. Like since it's been out. Which, yeah,
Ow.
Okay.
I remember the first time I watched it was on Sci-Fi when it premiered. So I'd been 15 when it came out. So I was a big Sci-Fi Saturday. Like that was my thing.
What year was this again?
2005.
Okay, yeah.
So like Sci-Fi Saturday was like my shit. Like all day Saturday, I would just sit at home, binge shitty creature features. 9 o'clock roll around, I'd watch whatever was premiering. So that was the first time watching this. Hated it. Even being like, because like when it was announced, I was like, oh shit, like Bruce Campbell and a sci-fi movie, and that was like peanut butter and jelly to me. I was like, that's perfect.
Right.
And I remember not being very entertained, not being impressed. I watched it again a couple months ago when we had started talking about doing Cult of Campbell, and like, we were plotting it out and planning everything. I got this like big nostalgia rush, and I was like, I'm gonna watch that movie again. Hated it. Regret watching it. I remember being like so pissed when it was done. I was like, God damn it, I gotta watch this again. Like now I finished it. It's like now I know I have to watch it again. And then when we made the list, it came up on the early run. So
Right. Yeah.
so yeah. What about you guys? Who here has seen it other than me?
Well, I watched it for the first time about 2 hours ago.
Yep. Same here. Yep.
I didn't care for it.
Yeah, this was my first time watching Alien Apocalypse 2, and I was not prepared for what I was in for. I'm in shock. What do you think, Ursa?
My first time too, as I said. I felt like it could have been, my viewing experience could have been enhanced with some drugs.
Yeah.
You think those might have helped
Maybe might have helped a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I laughed.
Right.
I don't think it was a comedy.
No. I will say, watching it this third time was the funnest experience I've had watching it with you guys. It was a lot. It made it a lot better watching it with like a group of.
This is a good movie to watch with friends.
Yeah.
I think all movies like this are better to watch with friends. You can just sit and roast the movie while you're telling it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. There was a lot of material there to roast on. So
Absolutely.
where do we start off
Well,
with Alien Apocalypse?
Well, first and foremost, I want to start off. I went to Wikipedia, which there is a Wikipedia article for this movie.
Which is shocking.
There not be, yeah.
That's shocking me.
Which, first of all, check it out.
Oh, that poster.
That about sums it up.
Yeah.
And the little blurb at the bottom says the highest rated sci-fi pictures original of all time.
Is that right?
Which probably doesn't still hold up. I imagine they upped their game.
I think Sharknado pretty much like blew that out of the water.
Yeah.
Sharknado set like new standards for them.
Yeah. But we start with some pretty mediocre B-roll with a voiceover that I didn't hear a fucking word of. So I have literally no fucking idea what they were talking about. They were probably setting up the backstory that we heard all over the fucking exposition dumps in this movie.
Right.
And then the next thing we see is like there's some slaves being walked by dudes on horses, and they can only take like a 6-inch stride because their legs are chained, and they're just kind of shuffling in this awkward fucking conga line.
Yeah.
And then we see like the alien briefly, or like its claw, and then we just this is all
they
in
tease
like 3
at
minutes.
they tease at the alien quite a bit in that opening little segment.
I thought it was going to be like a monster movie, the way they were setting it up, like they're getting stalked by some. No. So then we see a fucking something flying through the sky. It looks like a meteor, but I guess it's a spaceship. It lands off screen. Then we're introduced to 4 astronauts. Bruce Campbell is one of them. What's her name? Renee
O'Connor.
Gabrielle from Xena.
Yep,
Gabrielle. Dude with dreadlocks, and then the most annoying chick in the whole fucking movie. And her leg is hurt. We find out Bruce Campbell's a doctor. He doesn't seem to be a great doctor. And
has a lot of theories.
yeah.
He does a lot of scheming. Like when you first introduced him, he's doing all this scheming about how like there's probably not a lot of doctors around anymore. It means he can charge what he wants.
I can make my own rate.
Yeah.
And then because they've been in space for 40 years apparently.
Right.
Between 40 and 20, because you hear them say both at certain points.
Do they say both?
I think at the beginning they say 20, but then later it's 40.
Yeah.
Then
I wouldn't
later
be
a guy who claims to be 35 watched him launch when he was a kid.
That guy was for sure 55.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so
he's kinda...
so they the lady with the broken leg, who I really didn't like, got shot, and I liked that part a whole lot. And then she's not in the rest of the movie.
Her acting was terrible.
Like, there is pretty much no good acting in this movie, with the sole exception of Bruce Campbell.
You glossed over one of the more epic visuals of the film. They come over the ridge, and there in ruins is Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. Shittily green screen into the background.
Green screen.
And they realize, well, Portland used to be surrounded by trees, and they're all gone. It's just a rock desert.
Yep.
I wonder what happened to all the trees.
Yeah.
My favorite part about this opening too is like, so this is supposed to have happened. You know, we find out later the world's been in shambles for like 20-some years. But as they're walking in that beginning sequence, there's all these cars with like just mildly decayed corpses still in them. So it's very
like
confusing.
Shitty mummies.
Yeah, they all look like shitty mummies. But I imagine for 20 years they would have
just be bones.
Yeah, they'd be just bones. Yeah,
just like sun bleached skeletons sitting in these cars in the middle of what is now a desert. But nope, they still got some flesh on, a little bit of meat for the vultures.
Yeah, we find out we're in Oregon before that, because there's a car license plate with Oregon that they zoom in on, which explains all the thick Bulgarian accents we get to hear later on.
Yes, definitely accounts for that. So yeah, the lady gets shot. I cheered. And then they get captured by the bounty hunters and added to the Conga line.
The bounty hunters, who you will recognize immediately for their shitty beards and shitty hair. They all have every one of them.
We can spend the whole time talking about this, so I'm just going to get it out in the open right now. If you are wanting to watch this movie, you have to know that pretty much every single person in this movie is wearing a terrible wig and a worse fake beard. I don't know why.
It's pretty funny.
my gosh.
I think they were reusing extras.
That's our theory because
Yeah.
later we run into another group of random people, and our theory is they're the same people.
Yeah.
They just like, you take the wigs off and your beards in this scene, put the wigs and beards on in this scene.
Yeah,
here's the
right.
wigs. Here's the box of wigs and beards. Pick 2. That's what
We pay you 50 cents.
Yeah, we pay you
Yeah.
50 American cents.
Seriously, like it's insane. Like if this movie was a drinking game and you had to do a shot every time you saw really crappily done stage makeup, like you would probably die in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's honestly really intense.
As soon as I get to the big internment camp, the sawmill as I call
the
it,
sawmill,
you would
yeah.
you would be blacked out.
Which is adjacent to like just a giant pine cone embedded in the ground or something. It's where
Yeah.
the aliens.
So-
it's like a hive made out of wood.
Yeah, there's a immediate contrast between like them being shuffled through as slaves at the beginning, and then you enter a big pine forest, which
Yeah.
looks very Oregon-ish. So they did get on their scouting location scouting.
Yeah.
So you find there's a sawmill. People are just I guess
There's just-
moving boards
Like
from
per-
one
yeah, perfectly
pallet to the
cut
other
2x4.
pallet. Yeah.
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 Like their whole job is to just take 2x4s that are already cut and then put them on other piles of 2x4s. We don't see a single saw.
Yeah, no,
in the whole fucking place.
there's a saw.
Yeah, in the B-roll,
there's a
contraption of the scenes, and that's why you
Whatever,
don't remember
that
it
doesn't
because
count.
No,
That was
no.
on my phone.
No, at the camp there's one. At the camp there's a saw.
at the camp,
Yeah, at
Was
the
it just like a
sawmill.
Saw
did we
cutting
s-
logs into things.
right?
Yeah,
Well, that's
it's-
what I mean in the
Okay,
B-roll when they're introducing.
Did we
it,
see
you
Yeah.
see that.
Did we see it or do we just hear it in the background?
No, it shows it. It shows the
Okay,
these
okay.
things being cut.
But
Like,
I
missed that.
swear
but-
we didn't see
so
that
then-
thing again.
No, you're right. You're right. We saw it, I think, one time.
But it looks like it's
Yeah.
like
No, I remember what you're talking about.
it's the
now.
only piece of machinery we see the entire time.
Right,
Yeah,
and all
well, they-
these-
Right.
They can
all
only
these
rent it for an
logs
hour.
or All
right?
these
Yeah, yeah.
wood
They
planks are all like perfectly cut and
Yep.
sanded.
What I love is they
Lowe's stickers on them.
what I love is they bring well, it's not Lowe's, it's whatever the Bulgarian equivalent of Lowe's is.
Los.
Yeah, Lowe's. Yeah.
These
But,
planks come from Los, great for built garage.
You build shack. You live in shack or else. Welcome to Bulgaria.
That was like half the budget.
Enjoy vacation now. But I love it because they bring Bruce Campbell, Renee O'Connor, and then third astronaut who's the captain,
Dreadlock guy.
Dreadlock guy. They bring him in and like just immediately they just start working. They start
Yeah.
they just
Put 'em right
they
to
get
work.
they get right into it. And like they're just immediately just right into it.
But they get disciplined because
Yes.
they're like, well, these perfectly smooth boards are going to hurt our hands, so we need gloves. So they wrap a tiny piece of twine around part of their palm.
Yep.
But the 4 seconds they weren't working was enough for the dude with the apron and the baseball bat to get pissed.
Yep.
So
the big overseer.
Yep,
So
he
he
takes them to get
threatens them.
disciplined.
Yep.
And by the way, the whole time, every single time we're at this sawmill, there's a guard tower and there's a dude up there with a rifle. He doesn't do a fucking thing. Not one time.
Nope.
I don't think we ever see him. We just see him sometimes standing around, and then at the end of the movie, he gets shot. I'm not going to say spoiler alert because nobody gives a shit. So,
I can't imagine anyone's pissed that you just spoiled 2005's Alien Apocalypse. God damn, I was gonna watch it. I was gonna watch it tonight. Fuck! You didn't warn me.
yeah, another spoiler. They're just cutting people's fingers off. There's a whole line of people, and there's a dude with some big scissors,
Yeah.
and he's just smiling at the concept of chopping these little fingies off.
Oh, he's excited.
Yeah, so we see why the fingies are getting chopped off because they take them into the giant pine cone lodge, and we meet the alien. We've seen one by now. They're one or maybe two puppets in the whole movie. I'm saying two because sometimes we see more than one puppet in the shot, but like that could just be. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
They
you
definitely
could just
didn't have
do that in
special
post,
effects.
yeah.
Yeah, but so they have probably one puppet, at least maybe part of another. But they walk in and we meet the aliens and they talk with the 1950s. I am an alien voice.
Yeah,
Like,
it sounds like some kind of like translation software they've got
Yeah.
where you just like type in words and it just like repeats it. You know, like this is a house. I like to go into the store, like that kind of shit. Like I don't know.
Like a Marvin the Martian bootleg.
And they
like,
repeat the last of their stuff.
yeah,
yeah. Which is super.
yeah. They'll be like, you must listen. Más lesson. Like they'll do that kind of.
Yeah.
Very
so
strange.
You go in. There's 3 of them. They're like
there's 3 of 'em.
insectoid-looking things. They have bug eyes and pincers.
Yeah,
and-
they basically look like praying mantises.
that's the best way to put them. They're like praying mantis.
In
Like,
stunning CGI.
they call
absolutely.
them mites because
yeah.
they're they like wood, I guess.
Like wood. Oh yeah, we find out at some point, and I'm gonna forget when it is, so I'm just gonna say it now. They're on Earth for wood. That's why
yeah, they came to Earth because they want wood. It's a business. They're like taking the wood from here and they're shipping it back to their home planet.
Because it's like diamonds.
It's
they
like
also
diamonds.
eat it.
It's like diamonds.
What?
To them.
But they also eat it.
Right.
They also eat it, but we never see him eating it. All we
don't
see him
see
eat
him
is fingers
Yeah.
and heads.
Because Dreadlock guy speaks up. He's being defiant. I don't remember why.
Yeah,
I don't fucking.
he's
care
the
either.
captain. He's like he's being like inquisitive. You know, he
be
wants
mean to me.
I need answers. And I need them now. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
So one of the aliens steps up to him, and then it's like mandibles just kind of awkwardly spread aside, and it just has like giant shark jaws under there.
Yeah.
And then he bites his head off in one of the stupidest of quite a few stupid shots in this
yes,
movie.
this one's bad.
Oh, man.
His ponytail is
That's what cracked me up. It's like they went in post and erased his head.
That's all they did. You know, that's all they did. Yeah, that's all they did. They're like, all right, he bit his head off at this line. Everything above this line's gone. We can't do nothing with this line.
But what about the ponytail, Frank?
What?
Well,
Who gives a
he
shit?
didn't bite off the ponytail, did he?
It was
glued to his back like
yeah,
they
it
always
was
are.
clipped to his back.
So that dude's just dead. 2 astronauts down. And then somebody brings in a bowl of fresh severed fingies. And the aliens dig in. Because apparently they're both carnivores and woodivores.
Yep.
Whatever the fuck that is. So
Then we go to the place where we get a lot of exposition. We get our exposition dumped. But
in the hole.
they take Renee O'Connor, because now it's just Renee O'Connor, it's Bruce Campbell, 2 top build names. They take him, they dump him into a hole where there's I guess it's where people the
that's just
slaves
where they
sleep.
sleep. People.
Like the
Yeah.
slave quarters.
Yeah.
It's just this dugout hole with a trap door, and they throw him down there, and there's hay everywhere. And she's like, "I'm gonna talk to these people," but they keep running away. They have fires down
I
there.
will say, I enjoyed all the interactions between Bruce Campbell and Renee O'Connor.
Yeah.
Like even their like banter down in the hole, like when they first get in there, you know, they're like, all other slaves are like looking at him like, they're like all cautious and afraid of him.
Because they're dressed strange. Like,
Yeah, they're dressed strange. It comes up several times. Like,
Oh
look,
yeah,
they're
I didn't mention
dressed
they're
strange.
wearing pristine white NASA jumpsuits.
Yes.
The whole movie. They never remove them.
Oh, no, they don't.
Nobody
do they?
ever
No.
removes their clothes.
anything.
I mean, nobody has ever changed clothes in this movie.
Yeah.
We find a bunch of politicians who are still in their suits.
After 20 years. That's how you know they're politicians. But they get in the hole and like everyone is like afraid of them because they're dressed weird.
They're dressed weird.
And Renee O'Connor's like, or Bruce is like, well, what do we do now? And Renee O'Connor's like, we're gonna make friends or whatever. And there's some snappy little banter where like they're trying to go over to these little huddled masses of slaves, and they all just immediately go away. And
Yeah,
Bruce
they
is like,
just
you're
fuck
doing
off.
great. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Finally, they settle up to an old man.
Yep, the world's oldest 35-year-old.
Yep.
Yeah.
He gives them all the exposition about
Tells them everything.
Tells
Every
them about
fucking
the
thing.
the mites showed up 20 years ago and like defeated mankind and
Mankind couldn't fight back.
yeah, that's a big plot point.
It is. It's
Everyone is afraid of the mites and like they overtook the entire world.
Yeah.
But you find out later it's how?
Yeah, seriously. They're okay. So yeah, they find out they get the big exposition dump, and then they're like, where do you get gloves around here? And he's just like, somebody dies and then you take them off the corpse. That's it. There's no other way to possibly get gloves.
And then Bruce and Renee, they make up their mind. Well, they're not going to stay down there forever. They're going to dig their way out with wooden spoons.
With wooden spoons. Everybody has their assigned wooden spoon.
Which seems like that'd be a very valuable item for the mites.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wooden spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
why
yeah. They're
not
giving them
metal
wooden
spoons?
spoons. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess apparently because they don't want the humans to find out they're actually pretty squishy. So they start digging this hole, and then like Renee has the hole dug like pretty fucking deep by the middle of the night.
Yeah.
She gets really far. She's like Shawshank in that shit. So the next day, somebody dies, and they get gloves, and then they put the gloves on, and then like somebody else dies, and they get another pair of gloves, and then they fuck.
But
So
there's like no like.
Yeah.
It's like it just happens.
This is like 10 minutes of the movie, and it's just like, they're just like in the hole digging, and then they're outside doing work, and then they're in the hole digging, and then they fuck in the hole, and then because earlier she saw other people doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's some dude with long hair who's missing a finger. Who he's
the old man's grandson, I believe,
probably
or son. He's some relation to him.
Yeah. He's like.
And they mentioned like, oh, he's really smart, which I don't really know where that came from.
Never elaborated on
he
that.
said something like very like obvious, and that was their way of establishing that he was intelligent. It was I forget what he said, like something like, "Oh, you need air to breathe." And like, oh, this kid over here, he's a real smart guy.
He's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Yeah.
The air goes in your lungs, and you keep on living.
Yeah. So we
He
established
figured it out. He cracked the code.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so now that Bruce and Renee have done the nasty where everybody can see them, including several children, they have 2 pairs of gloves and they're flirting.
they are just the cutest couple.
Oh, they're
all of a sudden.
adorable. Yeah, nothing says turn on like slave labor.
It only happens very briefly, but in this brief little portion of the film,
like 2 seconds.
it's like they forgot. They just like, all right, it's at least we got each other, and they're like,
All we
they're
have
like
to do
grabbing
is
on each other and like touching each other's hand while they're lifting lumber.
Taking a break to
Right,
flirt while they
Yep.
move lumber from one pile
So,
to another.
Apron dude doesn't like that.
Yeah, the overseer sees it and just goes, "Hey, them," or he blows a whistle or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
and then they just they snatch up Renee
Yep.
and like put her in like shackles or what the fuck's
Oh,
that
yeah,
called?
I think they were going to whip her.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. They put her in like a stockade and they were gonna
Yeah.
whip her, and then they just start fighting back.
Yep.
And she like really easily. They take all these people really easily. Some really shitty action happens, and then Bruce gets his hands on like one of those like hole drill bits, the ones that you like bore a hole into the wood. And then an alien comes out to like see what's going on. Keep in mind, dude in the tower can see everything. And he's just not
Yeah, he never fires
the
out
tower
one
with a
shot.
gun.
he never yells. He never directs other people to like go help. He's just fucking off in that tower. So this alien comes out and gets stabbed in the gut by Bruce, and he gets green shit all over him, the alien's blood, and that's like a big thing. People are like, "You killed an alien."
Oh man, everyone is just like they can't believe it.
How did he use this easily accessible tool to kill one of the 6 aliens, baby? Yeah.
Like literally, like, he just.
Yeah,
It's not even like a big thing. It's not like he had to do anything tricky. He just like impales it with
he's
a
just crouching behind the pile of 2x4s and jumped out and just went, yeah.
Yeah, he stabs with a drill bit and it's dead.
Yeah, and then it's dead.
And no one can believe it. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, they die like we do." Yeah, they
yeah,
die.
like later in the movie, people are like, he did just kill one of those aliens. I can't believe it. Like it's inspiring them to revolt, and it's like literally none of you thought of that once.
It's like during the whole invasion portion, like the military must have just stepped aside. Like,
Yeah, like they gave these humans guns. They're walking around with like their laser didgeridoos, but the humans still have weapons.
I think the implication. I think the implication, because later we find out that didn't they send a warning back or something like that the aliens were coming.
the
So I think
probe
the
that
implication is that humanity didn't fight back. They just immediately were like, "Oh shit, aliens!" and started running and
folded.
hiding and just got over. I think that's what happened because we
Wow.
see the moment they fight back.
It's as
I
good a
think that's
guess as anything else.
I at least think
Yeah.
that's maybe what
Yeah.
what the writer / director was going for.
'Cause, like,
with this theme. You
I would
fight
think
back.
I would think
Probably
if
would
you
think that's a good idea if he heard you say that. He'd be like, "Yeah, I should have
Yeah, that's totally what I was going for.
like it's not
My
like
alien movie.
it's not like you see later when they're killing these aliens. It's not like they have like, ooh, there's only one weakness to them. You gotta get right underneath the the thing, and inside the thing, you got to curve it up.
Nope.
It's like, nope, it's just anywhere that you would kill a human or like a small child. You just hit them there. Like,
And to make it even better, their reflexes are fucking terrible.
Oh,
awful.
They sit there just
They're
looking
the
around
worst.
at these
Looking around like,
arrows flying.
Yeah.
they're the, like it literally looks like you could like fight like 6 of them yourself. You could like kill 6 of them. Like
I could,
like,
with asthma, while smoking a cigarette and hacking up a lung, could kill 6 of these guys.
like
With the cigarette.
yeah. If you like kicked one hard enough, they would just die. They would just die.
All you have to do is not hold still when they try to bite your head off.
Yes.
You're good.
Yes.
Which happens
Try not to
more
get
than you think.
try not to get freeze framed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While you're being
Right, yeah.
So we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So Bruce Campbell and long-haired nine-fingered dude who's real smart, I guess, are running from some bounty hunters.
Renee goes too. They all 3 of them rank run.
Oh yeah. Well, but they split up, and she gets chased into a field.
Oh,
Yeah.
before they before they run out, because Renee gets a gun, which does her no good.
Yeah.
But the way she gets the gun is like there's a guy standing by the gate when they get around, and she just takes a wooden club and just chucks it and knocks him right out, like hits him right in the head.
You're right. I forgot.
Oh
about
wait,
that.
no, she does use that gun. Yeah,
She does.
But
This
yeah,
girl,
she just kind of
she's got
a
some.
log at some dude's head.
yeah.
She's got some moves in the beginning of this.
Oh
movie.
yeah. She snatches up that gun. They run off. They decide to split up. Bruce and Nine Finger guy go one way. She goes the other way.
Yeah, just randomly they're like,
Yeah.
all right, let's fucking split up.
Yeah, Bruce and Nine Finger, they go into like desert portion. Renee runs into the woods.
Deeper into the forest. Apparently they were right over
And
there.
we learn that apparently in NASA you get some pretty good sharpshooter training because
Yep.
she just turns around. There's
She's
those
out
guys
running
coming.
4 horses.
There's horsemen coming, and she just kills like 3 of them. Just boom,
Yeah,
boom, boom.
yeah. Just takes them all down.
Yeah.
And then how did they
He has like a grenade rifle.
Yeah,
he shoots a grenade that lands near her, does absolutely no damage, and then they are instantly on top of her and captured.
Oh yeah. The minute she hits the
Yeah.
ground, their feet are. around her.
Meanwhile,
It's weird.
Bruce and Nine Finger are getting chased by 2 of the same horses. And they end up on a cliff overlooking some water, and they're quote unquote cornered.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely places that they could go, but they're doing real
They showed
bad.
way too much of the wide for us
Yeah.
to believe they were.
Yeah,
cornered.
they did. They really
Yeah.
fucked up with that shot.
Yeah. But Bruce got his hands on one of the didgeridoos. So he fires it at the bounty hunters, and then it knocks him and the long-haired guy into the water. And then they get washed away into a stream, I guess. And then, so Renee's captured or something, and then they get washed down a river, and then they just kind of crawl up on shore, and they're like, woo, what a day. And then from a hollow under a tree, they just hear, hey, come here. They just landed 3 feet away from just some like sexy midriff bearing made up forest lady.
Yeah,
who's
she had like a
living under tree.
loincloth and a bra, and that was basically it.
But she was clearly like
Forest
a model, like so.
And then you get like one of the worst shots. I wouldn't say
Oh
the
my
worst
God.
shots, but one of the worst shots in the movie.
It was up, yeah. So
It was bad.
They crawl into this hole, and they're all just crouched there. And then she starts a fire, which we see her sparking the like wood, but we never see the fire itself. So there's just this awkward like underlit shot of the 3 of them crouching real close.
Yeah,
And
it's
then,
complete pitch
leaning
black.
over the fire.
Yeah, they're leaned over the fire. It's pitch black in there. You can't see anything around them.
Freaking black.
So you know they're in like a closet with a flashlight
Yeah.
underneath them. Like, you know that's where they filmed this thing.
they're like, thanks for saving us. She fucking did not.
Yeah, that was what the fuck did that mean?
Bold faced lie.
Yeah.
All she did was watch these dudes claw up the bank and then go.
I'm over here in this shelter that you just washed up right next to.
Yeah. So like they have a conversation and then they put out the fire and then just leave the thing. Like there was no reason for them to be in there.
No.
They never showed any bounty hunters or aliens like in the area.
And then we make our way to Freedom Valley.
Oh, Freedom Valley, which is this weird ass looking village. Like it looks worse than a matte painting.
Yeah, it's some kind of like poorly done like CG digital attempt at a matte
And
painting.
like Forest Girl knows where this village is, but she's still like just chilling underneath the tree.
Well, she's apparently got a fiance in this village too.
Yeah, so apparently she lives in this village, but she just hangs out under this tree.
Yeah,
Just
she's
waiting on
and
outside.
they're all dressed like completely differently from her too. Like
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
in scant forest
And
bikini,
and this
they're
isn't
all
like
And they're all in
medieval
their, like,
vests.
yeah, it's not like a small little like colony either. It's like a big ass like village, like
Yeah,
like,
right.
like a
Windmills and
town.
everything.
yeah, which apparently isn't that fucking far from the sawmill, but
right.
I don't know if there's
aliens
like
don't know
a
about
peace
it.
treaty or they just don't know, but it's in a big ass valley.
Yeah,
It's open.
yeah, they
It's
have
like
fires
Freedom Valley.
with smoke popping up. And this is a good time to mention that a lot of shots are reused in this movie because
Yes.
there is one establishing shot of Freedom Valley, and they use it every time the characters
Yep.
go to Freedom
Oh, yeah.
Valley, and that happens a shitload throughout this
And
whole
this-
movie. They clearly reuse shots, like even like B-roll shots.
This is also a good time to bring up that, we mentioned that Bruce is a doctor, but this is where we actually see him start to utilize his craft.
Oh yeah, all he
As
does
a doctor.
is crack two people's backs. That's
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So
straightens
the
out
yeah.
well, he also
he
gets
takes
the
out the
bullet out of
bullet,
that one
yeah.
guy too.
Oh well, yeah, okay.
he
I guess he
he
doesn't
rips
just
a
crack
bullet out
people.
of someone's body.
With like a big ass hunting knife.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a big ass hunting knife, and he's just like,
So they ship the-
and wiggles it around.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, so he's in this village, and we get some exposition about how like the old president that was around,
Yeah,
when the Vogue
that's-
took off.
That's something the old man mentioned. The old man in the
oh yeah,
that village.
yeah, that's right, yeah,
Yeah, there's a President Dembski,
yeah.
Who's,
Dempsey or something, yeah,
damn Republican.
damn,
They make-
yeah. Oh, he's a damn Republican, but he's up in the mountains, the Cascade Mountains, and he's organizing a freedom force. But it's like a legend. Like some people don't believe in President Dempsey or whatever the fuck is fucking
The
name.
president lives.
Yeah, yeah.
president
they,
lives.
Yeah, they chant the president lives like a fucking cult. Like it's bizarre. It's
Really
such
weird.
a weird choice. But so Bruce Campbell's like, well, I'm gonna go find the president and save my lady friends since all you people in this village aren't gonna help me. So long hair, nine finger long hair and sexy lady go with him. And then
Well, they also do one like the only bit I really like in this whole movie. There's a little bit where like the leader of Freedom Valley who they talk to, who you also find out is Jungle Lady's fiance.
oh yeah, which
But-
never comes up again.
No, it doesn't.
doesn't.
He just makes a mention like, but we were supposed to be wed, and she's like, I'm going to go with him, and he's like, all right, like
He's got a big chin and he doesn't have shitty hair.
yeah.
so-
And when we first meet this guy too, he's all like hunched over,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then Bruce pops his back, and he's
yeah,
fine.
He pops his back, cures
He's
the
good.
scoliosis.
He's
just
he's
like
he's,
that.
he's just like,
Like
that
any
feels
good
fine.
chiropractor.
Like,
Yeah.
that feels fine.
feels fine.
But
So
he does a thing where Bruce is like, I'm going to get the president and all this. Or no, when he first meets him, he puts his hand out,
oh yeah,
and
that's
he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "It's a greeting." And they go, "Oh," and he just pulls his hand back because no one knows what a handshake is in the
Yeah,
future.
that's the running gag. Is
Yeah.
nobody knows
Which
what
I
a
actually
handshake
enjoy.
is. Yeah. But yeah, so they leave to go find the president, and we're just treated to like a bunch of scenes of him just collecting people. Like first he meets this dude who's fishing, and he literally just
No, that's not the first one they meet.
It's not.
No, they meet the bullet wound guy.
no,
first.
no, that guy was second.
Was
I
he?
think no,
No.
maybe not. I don't think it fucking matters.
No, it was bullet wound guy first.
Well,
so
okay,
like
yeah.
they're going through, and then like they get shot at, and they duck down.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
you're right.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. So yeah, there's a bunch of people getting shot at, like feet away from them. They're just crouched in plain view of the bounty hunters that are shooting at them. And then one guy gets shot in the side, but they miss like the kill shot. And then
And he fakes.
so they ride off, and then Bruce Campbell just comes out and he has his knife out, and the guy's like, "Oh, you're gonna kill me!" And then he's like, "Here, drink this potato liquor." He's like,
Yes.
"Why are you making me drink alcohol if you're gonna kill me?" And then he just dumps it in his mouth, and then he just fucking stabs his knife into the dude's bullet and just starts fucking jamming it around, just yanking that motherfucker, pulls it out, reaches in there with his whole goddamn hand,
Unsanitized.
just and then yanks out the bullet, and he's like, "You're gonna be fine."
He's sanitized with the potato liquor.
His
Yeah,
fingers-
yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, so so this dude, they just help him up, and he's just like, "Ooh, ow!" Like, dude, you just got shot and then got the bullet wound fisted and not stitched up either. He just yanked the bullet out and was like, "You're fucking good." So that guy joins them, and then they find the guy with, hands down, the worst hair in the movie.
The Fisher?
The fisherman. This was okay, I don't know what any of these wigs started as, but they all look bad. But this one clearly started as like the Halloween USA, like shoulder length kind of bob with the bangs. Like, yeah, I can't even think of like a good, like, okay, if you've ever seen a woman drunk at the bar for Halloween dressed as like Cleopatra or something, it was like that kind of fucking wig.
That is a
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So this
that's
dude-
pretty much every wig in the movie.
Yeah. So this dude has his back to them and he casts his line and then flings it over his shoulder and a fish lands.
And he's like standing in like this shallow water. Like
Yeah,
you wouldn't even
yeah.
get your feet wet
And
walking
you can
across
see-
this
yeah,
water.
you can see
And
this
he's just
stream
catching these
empty
big
of
ass
fish.
big ass carp.
Huge
right out of
carp.
this.
And just one after the other, he literally just flings 4 fish out.
Like
and
it's
then-
nothing.
And then Bruce Campbell's like, hey, or whatever. And then he just turns around and in his other hand, he already has a drawn like broom handle pistol.
It looked like I thought it was Han Solo's gun from Star Wars. I thought for sure that's what it was. I was like, no way. They just went to they brought that prop and just like, here it is.
Yeah, they have a short like standoff, and he's like, I'm going to get the president, and then it's all resolved, and he's like, that's fine. I don't have bullets anyway. And I'll just catch fish for you so you can eat them. I don't even really like eating them. I just like fishing.
Yeah, he's like swishing.
It's like, dude, you just fucking murder fish?
And then it cuts to like them having a little campfire
Yeah,
eating
they're
fish,
sitting around
and
the
all of a sudden
campfire.
there's 15 people.
Yeah, no, there's like 2 people in the background. Like one dude who we've never seen before,
No.
who might be the only person with real facial hair in the movie, maybe. And we're just like, who the fuck is that guy?
And he hasn't had a lot of camera time. No.
Yeah.
He keeps looking at the
just
camera.
keeps looking at the
Yeah, he
camera.
just
Yeah, he keeps just every time it shows over to him. Like he'll be looking the correct direction, and you'll see his eyes just shift over to the camera real quick. He's like, "Are we still rolling? We're still rolling."
that was clearly like the key grip, and they're like, dude, we need one more.
We need one more
shot.
guy.
yeah.
you have a
Can you
beard,
feel
a
this
real
shot?
one.
Can you feel this shot?
I don't know if I will be very good on camera. Literally, all you have to do is sit still and not look at the camera.
No, I'll
Yeah.
try.
I will try.
Yeah, so Bruce Campbell just dumps exposition.
Yeah,
where he's
just
like,
kinda-
I was on a space probe. Like shit, we already know as the audience. And but he's telling these people like, I went up on a probe 40 years ago and whatever.
Yeah.
and then
drinking. They're all so enraptured by what he's going on about.
And then they keep going, and just like every shot, there's just more people. He just keeps collecting people off screen. And then we find this like hunchback dude who has the second worst hair in the movie.
This guy is just weird
Or
overall.
no. Sorry,
What?
hold on. They picked up Shitbeard before that. Yeah. So that one of the bounty hunters who
Shitbeard.
he pops
the
up.
lead bounty hunter.
Yeah, the lead bounty hunter. We see him throughout the movie, and he has a super distractingly bad fake bearded mustache.
Worst one in the
It's
movie.
incredible, and he's on screen so much.
With close-ups.
I'm pretty sure he had
close-ups
facial hair
and
underneath
lines.
his shitty.
Yes.
Yeah.
not
I wouldn't be surprised.
He probably did. It was incredible. Every time he was on screen, it's all I could think about.
It's so
I wouldn't hear the
obvious.
dialogue. I wouldn't see anything that was going on. Like the scene in Austin Powers where he's like, Molly, 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 Molly. Like,
Yeah.
he's distracted by the mole. That's what I was like with that fake beard. I was just like, it's on your face, and I want to peel it off. It's clearly held on by like this much spirit gum. Like, so they recruit him. I don't even fucking remember how they.
He got shot with an arrow.
Yeah. He got shot with an
Fixed him
arrow,
up.
and all the people are like,
the
"Hey,
doctor
watch
thing.
this! He's gonna fucking kill him." And then he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna show mercy if you help us."
I love it. It goes. He's like, no. He's like, we're humans, and humans can change. He's gonna be with us. And later we see how all that worked out. But
Yeah. So they
he's showing them like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they at some point recruited Shitbeard, who was just. I mean, they've been journeying like this whole time. So he was.
Oh, yeah.
Not-
he caught up
yeah,
quick.
yeah,
I
he
guess
caught
you're
up
right.
real
I didn't
quick.
think about
Yeah.
that. How the fuck did he get there?
it,
Yeah, but
it
horse-
seems
I don't
like
know.
they're like in like the same like little 10-mile radius.
Right,
Like,
They were just
yeah.
going in circles
Yeah.
collecting
Yeah.
people.
It really feels
That's what
like
happens
that. Yeah.
when you let a doctor lead the trip through the woods. Doctors are not good in the woods.
Hey, I've been to space. How hard can
what
space
like
be?
what is he, an OD, a DO?
He's a
What is it?
DO, yeah.
A DO, yeah.
So
You need an MD when you're traveling.
right,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, no. So they find this hunchback.
I like
guy.
that his explanation for why he's in space is that like none of the real doctors want to go to space, so they didn't want to be gone for 40 years. So he just kind of like volunteered. And I was
I'll take it.
like, all right.
Yeah.
You think they were probably like, we don't need we need a real doctor.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like, and I love that they're like the real doctors didn't want to go to space, as if there has never been a fucking doctor on a space shuttle before.
No, as
yeah,
if no
no.
one thinks that's a good idea. Like no one thinks that's an exciting idea.
Yeah, not a single astronaut has ever had a doctorate. Good job. That's definitely a real fact. So they find this hunchback in the woods, and he's got the second worst hair in the movie, or wig, and then he like knows where the president is. So they follow him, and he's like a smart ass and kind of a dick. And then they show up to just some bunker
Yeah.
randomly in the woods that like a bunch of politicians are in, like
Just
from the old regime or whatever.
Dried up,
Yeah.
old. They've got their
They're
suit
really
and ties
dirty.
on still after
Yeah.
20
The
years.
one guy reminded me of Phil from Shaun of the Dead.
The senior senator from
Yeah.
New York. You mean? Yeah, he made sure to tell us that because
Oh, yeah.
he walks in and him and the hunchback get into an argument. This dude just had like a bunch of crap smeared on his face. He's like, "You need to respect me. I'm the senior senator from New York." And then the hunchback is just like, "Take us to the president, fucker," or whatever. So they go and meet President Dempsey or whatever.
Dembski.
Dempsey. Yeah, Derp,
Whatever
and-
that was.
Who is just painting.
Yeah, he's just painting some landscapes.
making some happy
Yeah.
trees.
Still
Yeah.
dressed in a suit. Everybody's still wearing their suits.
Everyone's
and
still
ties.
wearing their
He had
20-year-old
the cleanest
suits.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
His
think
suit
you're
was the
right.
cleanest.
And he had
Yeah.
like an actually like put together office. Like
Yeah.
just in the
Right,
back.
yeah.
All
There's
these
still-
other old men are just like laying around on the floor. Or,
They're-
like, broken
They're
down
still like
furniture.
maintaining this hierarchy for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But he's not doing anything. So it's like,
Yeah.
what's the point?
Yeah, so Bruce Campbell's like, "Hey, we heard you're gathering people for the resistance," and he's just like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "Okay, then I'll do it."
That's basically what it is.
Boy, you saved them a lot of time on that scene.
Yeah, that's like a 5-minute scene. Boom, 5 seconds. There you
Yeah,
go.
he like Dembski's like, you can't kill these things. And have you seen him? He's like, there's no way you can kill something like that. And
He's
he's
like,
like,
"Have you
no, I've
tried?"
killed him.
Yeah, he's like, "I stabbed one with a drill bit. Have you even tried to kill
Yeah.
him?" He's like, "Why would I bother trying to kill these things?"
Yeah, and then they
That is pretty much See, what I mean?
They,
didn't try
yeah.
fighting back, and so
So they just leave, like, and then the hunchback is like leading them out, and then Bruce Campbell's like, "Hey, real quick before we split off at this random point in the woods, let me try to help you." And he's just like, people have tried. Like, there's no doctors. This guy is a doctor. There's a guy in the group who can testify that he got a bullet yanked out of his side and didn't die. There's another guy who got shot by an arrow and didn't die. And this guy's just like, you're not going to be able to fix my back. So
Yep.
he lays on his side really awkwardly, and then Sexy Lady and Nine Finger help. And then there's just like a bunch of cracking while Bruce Campbell just pretends to do some shit off screen. And then he stands up and his voice is different. And he's like, "Oh, I'm cured. Thanks, dog."
stands
Like,
up
So-
straight and tall. I'm not a dwarf or a hunchback.
so
I'm
so
not Golem from the Lord of the Rings anymore.
Urs, what did you think of that? What did you think of that?
What do you mean?
His
yeah.
procedure. His procedure. What did
Yeah.
you think of his
I don't know. I'm not
of
a
getting?
doctor.
Well, I mean, how was his technique?
How was his technique?
I don't know. I'm not a DO.
Deal?
Yeah.
But yeah, so
It looked fairly resembled to what I've experienced.
you heard it here first.
So I did read something interesting. So he's an osteopath. Is that what he's classified as? I
Yeah,
believe like
yeah.
also. So Sam Raimi's brother is an osteopath. And Sam Raimi's brother is Ivan Raimi. Bruce Campbell's character is Ivan Hood. And the director of this movie, Josh Becker, I believe,
Right, yep.
he was in the lighting and art department for Evil Dead. So he's a Raimi guy. Bruce Raimi.
Yeah.
So I think it was like one big like little tip of the hat to
I think
Yeah,
you
okay.
who I bet is like their like personal doctor.
Yeah. Well, it didn't make me enjoy this movie more. So, there we go. But they fix Smeagol's back, and he's fine, and he sounds like a person again. So they go back to the village, and we see the same establishing shot. He's just like, hey, man, the president's alive. And everybody's like, the president lives. And they're weird cult chant. He's like, well, hold on. He's a bit of a dick, and he wasn't actually helping anyone. So I'm going to help. And everybody's just like, we don't actually care.
Yeah, they're like, now without the president, we can't do it.
I mean, you just showed up with a bunch of people we've never seen before, so clearly people are following you. But I don't know. So they just decide, well, they're like, we're on our own, so we're gonna go attack the sawmill. And then they show up with like way more people than they.
No. Before this, we have a little camp scene.
Oh God!
You're forgetting about one of the
Judas.
So
Jesus metaphor gets Judas.
That out.
Yeah.
So there's like a scene. They're all camping. They settle in for the night. Bruce goes off to like stare at the poorly. For some reason, they show a shot of the moon, but apparently they didn't get the right ratio for the screen, so they stretched it. So you have an egg-shaped moon in the sky, and it's the most bizarre thing. They like couldn't get the right aspect ratio, so they just stretched it for the screen. But he gets to stare at the egg-shaped moon.
Yep.
And while he's doing that, Shitbeard wakes up and doesn't attempt, but rapes Jungle Girl.
Yeah. Like for like 3 seconds. He's
Like
just
3
kinda, like,
seconds.
there, and then 3 seconds, and then he gets thrown off.
Yeah, then
and
Nine Fingers throws her off.
The way they shot it, it wasn't even clear. Like, what
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was like he
upward
like
shot of him being like or something, and then Nine Finger throws him off, and then Bruce Campbell shows up, and Nine Fingers is like, well, he raped her. It's like he was over her for 3 seconds. What the fuck?
I don't.
at most he sexually assaulted her, but no, he raped her.
Yeah. Apparently,
So-
and she's just like all curled up like a damsel now, and then Bruce
like
Campbell just
I would have thought
fucking-
she would have just killed him. Like she's
Yeah.
carrying around all
Right.
these bows.
Well, she's been like a strong female character
Yeah,
up to this point, and
forest
she's-
lady.
Or
She's
just
and then
a
she
survivalist.
needs Bruce. But so he like tells the jungle guy, tells Shitbeard that they're civilized people now. They have laws and rules, and Shitbeard's like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna tell the aliens where you're at.
Yep.
And y'all gonna be slaves in the morning. So he goes to leave, and Bruce grabs an arrow, grabs a crossbow, and he says something.
He gets a Bruce line in.
Yeah,
And then he shoots Shitbeard. Shitbeard turns around with the arrow at him. He's like, wait, you're a doctor. You're supposed to heal people. Then Bruce goes, your prognosis is terminal. Now you're cured. And then he dies.
Then the man
He
dies.
dies.
And he dies.
And then Bruce just walks away into the woods.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a doctor. Can you please see to the rape victim?
Yes,
That,
yeah.
that,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Can you check and make sure he's okay?
Yeah.
And then, other than
Nope.
Shitbeard dying, there's no consequence to that scene whatsoever. They
No,
were just like,
that was it.
Hey, you know what would make this guy look like a villain? A rape scene. It's like, yeah, no, not the part where he enslaved a bunch of people. We need to ham fist a really stupid, unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well,
that
he makes a
happened.
comment earlier, way earlier, when they capture Renee O'Connor, when they recapture her.
Oh, yeah.
And they're carrying her in, and like he says something about like, man, he's like, it's a shame they're gonna kill her because I really wanted to do the space girl. He makes a comment like that, so you know he's got like
So he's like a
the
pervert,
rape
yeah.
intention.
Yeah. So that just happens.
Yep.
And then they go to attack the sawmill, and there's a bunch of people, and they have we thought it was like a siege cart that was covered with some a ghillie something, and there were some spikes, and then they just open fire with their arrows, kill like a shitload of the bounty hunters.
Yeah, all the tower guards.
Yeah.
All the tower cards.
All of them who never did a
Yep.
single fucking thing.
And then they use their battering ram because there is a 3-foot chain link fence that's being held up by
with
twine that they need to
barbed
take down.
wire, but they take it down successfully.
Yeah, they like kind of bump it. Like someone could have fell and reached out and grabbed onto this fence and would have ripped the whole thing
That crazy
down.
guy that tried to escape earlier in the movie could have knocked that thing over trying to climb over it. Yeah.
So they fight and kill a lot of the bounty hunters, and then he's reunited with Renee, and then the pine cone opens up, and then the aliens come out and they start shooting people with their didgeridoos, and 2 people die when the pile of 2x4s gets hit, blows up, flips in the air, and then we get a downward facing camera shot zooming in on their face.
A post
Just a hard.
yeah. Yeah, not a camera zoom, a post zoom. Like
Yeah.
they went in post and zoomed in on the shot.
So two
Looks terrible.
different people in this fight scene get crushed by lumber that got blasted into the air. That's the thing they decided to do more than once.
Yep.
The second one was really caught me off guard with that. Like the way she like blocked.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
She looked so determined, like she was going to stop this. Wood.
She did not. So
Apparently.
yeah, so the aliens come out and then they all retreat and they go right back to the exact same spot they were just in. And then they rip the thing off of the battle cart and it's like a hwacha. It's loaded with a bunch of arrows. Do you know what a hwacha is? It's
Tell
a
us.
thing and it's loaded with a bunch of arrows. So they shoot it at the aliens and it absolutely fucking wrecks their
Just
shit.
decimates them.
Destroys them. And they fire it more than once with the exact same shot.
And with about the same, it has like a 10% accuracy rate. So many arrows
yeah.
are going by these aliens as
they're
they just
fucking
watch
them
them.
They just watch.
Oh, and you know what I just remembered that I have to acknowledge? The one alien who got stabbed in the gut, we got to see his funeral.
Oh my God! That was way early. That was insane.
That was earlier.
I forgot,
And that
yeah.
was weird.
That's the
In the-
craziest scene in the whole movie.
In the middle of Bruce's Jesus journey, they were like, let's check in on the camp that you
It-
forgot
no,
about.
it's back when they're carrying Renee back. Well, after they've caught Renee, because they have her on the spit.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They carry Renee
That she
back
could
on a
clearly,
spit.
fumble her way out of. And
Yep.
But yeah, so we see the aliens surrounding this thing that has a glowing green orb on top of it.
They
which we never
focus
find
on
out
that like
what is.
twice. Yeah, they focus on that for a good second twice, and you think it's some kind of.
It's going to be a thing, right?
But
They have to
it's never
destroy
a
the
thing.
Yeah, no, it never comes up. So they're just there, and they put their buddy there and start burning him. And then somebody's like looking at him, and one of them turns around and roars with his creepy jaws. And then they all start mourning by going like,
Yeah, they just like do this
They
weird
just start
jittery
dancing and start jittering.
convulsion dance.
So yeah, clearly the aliens have emotions, I guess.
Yeah.
That was just the thing I wanted to mention because it was fucking weird.
I'm really glad it did that because as an audience member, it let me connect with the antagonist. And I was able to like see both sides. These are living beings.
Yeah.
Of course.
We're all living beings.
Yeah.
We're all mortal.
They're out to survive too, and it's just we've been put in this struggle.
Yeah. So they successfully like capture the sawmill. Like they did it,
Yeah,
guys.
they did it.
And then
Round
Or
up all the
so
bad
they
guys.
oh my god. A fucking tank.
Yeah, the ground starts
rolling
shaking.
up. They're like,
There's something coming.
There's something coming.
Absolute terrible CGI.
Oh my
Horrible
god!
tracks
Oh
in the
wait,
bottom.
before that happened though, they took the sawmill and then they captured all the bounty hunters.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
right.
rounded
Yeah.
them
They bring
in
the
the
bounty
same
hunters
The
out and
last
they're
two.
going to kill them. There's like 3 or 4 of them, yeah, like just
Oh,
a couple
yeah.
of them,
Yeah.
and they're going to kill them. And then Bruce is like, "Wait, we don't have to kill them.
Yeah.
This is
They're
your
people
first
too.
taste at freedom. It's up to you to decide what to do." And they're like, "Well, we're going to lock them away." So they
Yeah.
lock them in this little
They
house.
lock him in like the guard shack.
Look at our shack.
So the tank shows up and it opens its little ramp and a bunch more aliens come charging out.
yep.
And there's this big battle and we see the same alien get decapitated 3 fucking times. Oh yeah, because there's 2 swords at the battle.
Well,
Right. Right.
Well, that way, like there's multiple things that happen there when that tank shows up because like the tank shows up
Well, the aliens come out, but they get massacred by the bows.
immediately,
Yeah.
immediately.
Straight away.
then the
But
tank
then you have the
backs up.
scene. Well, you have the scene before that where they come out and for some reason, like all of our survivors just kind of give up or just stay in there for a second. While the guy, the main
No,
alien
that was
comes out.
after the missiles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all
It
the
was,
missiles.
yeah, yeah.
Or was it?
God,
I
the
don't
missiles.
fucking
No,
know.
you're
I
right.
don't know.
You're
That
right. You're right.
that's this whole
Yeah, no,
last
yeah.
scene is a mess.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
it
just gonna
is.
speed through the shit that I remember. So basically, aliens show up, they get shot by arrows, the tank backs up, and then it has a bunch of little ports on the side that open up, and then it really
Oh
fucking
my God.
shitty missiles.
Oh my
come
God,
flying.
yeah.
Oh my God, this
They
missile
start-
bombardment.
Yeah, they start blowing up everything. They blow up the piles of lumber. They blow up the fucking guard.
So the missiles come out and make like an immediate 90-degree turn to the front.
Yeah,
Of the
because they're
tank.
shooting
Come out of the side.
Yeah.
And then they just start blowing up random shit. It's like It's like there's people everywhere, but you're not blowing up the people. You're blowing up like the wood,
they're
Piles of wood.
The giant
guard
pine
shack.
cone.
the pine cone.
The guard shack was the funniest fucking.
Oh, the guard shack was the
It's
best.
zooming right towards there, and the guys whose lives they just spared minutes ago are in the window going, ah! And then they blow up.
Listen, watching that missile bombardment scene almost fucking killed me.
Eric was losing his goddamn
It
mind.
did. I couldn't breathe for shit.
We have like a watch along you can do that will be uploaded
You may or may
somewhere,
not
like
get to
on
listen to
Patreon
that,
or something. Yeah, but
it'll be on our Patreon.
It's fucking incredible, and so everything gets blown up except our characters. They all live.
All the main people. The
Yeah.
fellowship.
Yeah, the
of Campbell.
fellowship. So
The Fellowship of Campbell. Dun,
Fellowship of
dun,
Campbell.
dun, 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 dun.
oh my god. So they all
The
like,
fellowship of the chin.
They just started
They should have called it.
the fellowship of the chin. But yeah, so they all just kind of like get up from the rubble and then stand in a line unarmed, and the aliens just sort of approach them. They're like, "All right, who's your leader?" Bruce Campbell's like, "I'm the leader." And then they do an "I'm Spartacus" moment, and literally every person is like,
I
"I'm
am
the
the
leader."
leader.
No,
No,
I'm
I'm
the
the
leader.
leader.
No, I'm the leader. And then the alien's like, "Wow, you humans have some integrity, but I think that guy's the leader,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna kill him." So they like,
And no one does anything. Everyone's like, well, they figured it out.
yeah. So they pull him
We tried.
aside, and they just drag it out as long as they can.
Yep.
There's a conversation about some shit I don't remember or really give a shit about, and then the village and the president show
Yep.
up, and shit goes wild.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's when
he
we
gets
see the
fucking
alien get
nuts.
decapitated 3 times.
Yep.
Because the president has a sword. Bruce Campbell had a sword. Now the president has a sword. There are 2 swords at this battle.
Yeah.
one point-
Renee gets one.
Yeah.
At one point, Bruce is using a didgeridoo as a club.
Yep,
Yes.
yep. He's just
Yep.
beating
He
aliens
is
with
just-
the laser didgeridoo.
There's a couple shots like they use the alien get decapitated. They use it a bunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Alien
hand
get-
getting
The
severed.
hand getting
Oh,
cut
yeah.
off.
Hand severed.
The alien getting gutted by the sword.
Yep. Somebody
gutting.
gets stabbed.
The little,
into-
the sword just wiggling around.
Yeah.
just the tip wiggling around
Yeah.
inside the alien belly.
I think they recycled the alien generation where generated animation is what I mean when it bites off a head. 'Cause
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone
like
gets their head bit
like
off.
2 more fucking people get their
Yep.
stand still
Yep.
and get their heads bitten off.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
They
Nine
can't duck or
Finger.
anything.
You're right. Yeah. Moved, stepped to the side, anything. Like, so then Nine Finger and Sexy Lady have Molotov cocktails, which have not been used yet. And then
yeah.
they run up to the tank, which has just not done anything else.
Except
And then-
just clown car out aliens.
No.
Oh,
in
yeah,
this.
yeah. More aliens came out.
No,
Get
what
slaughtered.
happens is creepy Gollum guy who like took him to the president
Oh,
thing.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
He runs up and like gives it the up yours thing, and then it opens its side ports because it's going to shoot him because it pissed him off.
Oh, yeah.
And then they throw Molotovs
Yeah, they
into
throw
it.
them
They
Molotovs in it.
awkwardly throw
Yes.
Molotovs
Yeah,
into it. Like,
they go
terrible.
straight in. Like they're
Yeah.
missiles. Like they show them throwing them, and then the shot of them going into the tank is just a straight line.
Beeline.
have you ever threw like a football with like your offhand?
Yeah.
That's what
how
it
they
looked like.
threw it.
That's what it
Yeah.
looked like when the sexy girl threw the Molotov.
But those Molotovs going into those windows were like,
Yeah, like missiles. And then
Streamline.
the tank blows up instantly.
yep.
And the humans are victorious. Like, I mean, not a lot else happens after that. There's like victory poses.
yeah.
And then like they're like, we can't, like, we haven't won the war yet. We have to take all the sawmills. And then it goes into like
Well,
epilogue.
the president comes up. Yeah, the president comes up and like tells Bruce like, you changed my mind. You convinced me to fight
It
back
was
and
because of you.
because of you. And then he's like, Bruce is like, yeah, tell everyone, get ready in the morning. We take another sawmill. And
yeah.
Yeah.
then he's like, got it good. Is that what he says? Or-
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That was.
And then there's narration again for the first time since the very beginning of the movie.
You find out that
it's
the narration is
Nine
Nine Fingers.
And
Yeah.
he's writing. He can write in a journal, which we never established if other people.
Well, that's why
can,
he's the
cannot
smartest
write.
one.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
that is what they did. That's probably what they did earlier when they established he was smart. Is like he could write. Or
Well,
something.
God, they need to do something.
He
Clem.
does. He does letters real
And
good.
then you get a money shot.
Oh yes.
They should have showed they should have showed like him writing in his journal. It's all scribbles. It's like not even anything. It's not even like anything legible. It's just like scribbles.
So yeah, during the end narration, we see a line of people led by Bruce and the other main characters marching through like this hilly landscape, and then. The rule of thirds was used so great here because on the left third of the screen, we see all the main characters marching. And on the right third of the screen, we see Bruce Campbell's face superimposed into the shot, getting the shit sprayed out of it by green goo. And he's just like silently screaming. It's fucking incredible.
It is a crazy shot.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
I honestly, they had to have. I think that it was intentional to look like what it looks like. 'Cause it looks, it looks very, very something.
Yeah, jizzy.
Yeah, it looks very, very jizzy. Yes, no, and like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like they had to have like. There's no way that comes out that way, and they're like afterwards, like, oh wait, it's like that looks.
Somebody framed up an extreme close up on Bruce and told him to scream, and then started spraying green shit on his face. That's what happened.
That is,
And they put it at the end of their movie.
At the end of the movie, as the literal and figurative money shot, and that's Alien Apocalypse, not groovy. Wait, shit. Fuck. So, all right. No, what I meant to say is that was Alien Apocalypse, which is a good time for us to talk about the quality of Campbell.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Quality of Campbell. I want to save my opinion, so I feel
Fair
like
enough.
I did a good job. Nobody knows exactly what I think of this movie.
No,
It is quite mystery.
I'm anticipating what you're.
So we'll start with Ursa. What did you think of the quality of Campbell?
Honestly, I had a good time watching this movie. It's a bad movie, clearly, but I kind of like bad movies sometimes. It was a laugh. If you like that kind of film, you'll like this film.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So I think, and we talk about the quality of Campbell here.
Yes.
And we also like to comment on the quality of the movie, which I agree with.
Right.
But as far as Campbell goes, Campbell's, we got to face it. He's in his element here.
He is. He's in that
got
B-movie
those
schlock.
One-liners. He's got his smirk, his charm is like cranked up to that 11. He's given inspirational speeches. He's changing minds. He may or may not be a Christ figure in this movie.
I think he is.
I am enjoying that.
He comes from the heavens. He's wearing all white. He's the healer. They call him the great healer.
Oh, yeah.
He got
He has a
Judas.
Judas, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
He's
a lot of
gathering
connections there.
he's gathering disciples.
Oh yeah. No,
He's Christ.
They gave him
Bulgarian Jesus.
Bulgarian Jesus. I think that this was a good time. I had a good
Water
time.
and vodka.
If I had to sit there and watch this movie by myself, I'd be fucking miserable. But watching this is a good one to watch with friends. It really is. And the America. Oh my god, America. Yeah. Well, Tyler, I don't know what's your impression.
Well, like I said, this is my third time watching it. I know the first two times I watched, I did not enjoy it, but this I really enjoyed watching it. I think this was the perfect way to watch this movie. I watched it, with you guys, and we had a great time, just like riffing on it and poking fun. But it is the Bruce is in his element. This is that B movie schlock that I think he, fortunately or unfortunately, is kind of known for. And you could tell he was living. He was the lead. He's there, chewing scenery every time. He's the only good thing about the movie. So, but every time he's on screen, man, you're kind of drawn to it because he is being just that charismatic, Bruce Campbell, that classic Bruce.
Yeah.
I think Renee did a good job.
Oh yeah, Renee. There's just not enough of her in it.
There was.
Yeah, she was missing
That's
for
the
a giant
thing, yeah.
chunk of
Yeah,
the
we
movie.
needed more of her in this. They had a great chemistry.
But yeah, So okay, I've been shitting on this movie, well deserved. But you guys are right. It's like the B movie schlock that a lot of Bruce Campbell fans are into. If you are the kind of person that likes watching bad movies that you can shit on, absolutely. This is one of those.
Yeah,
Like,
I will always say like I love trash movies.
yeah.
I love garbage movies. Like I am a film possum. I love trash. Like,
Dude,
I will gladly watch a movie, like this. One of my all-time favorite movies is Jaws, but I can't just pop in Jaws and watch Jaws. I can pop in this and watch any time because I can shut my brain off and like do other things and still and look up when I need it.
just laugh at the stupid ADR line deliveries. It
was ADR in this?
no, none whatsoever.
Give life and he
none.
take it away.
Oh, we forgot those scenes.
Oh my god, yeah.
There's two long ass scenes of just the additional characters.
Just a long take, just panning past all the characters you managed
and
to get a
each character has a blurb about Bruce. He cracked my back and whatever.
Oh, he says this. Oh, he did that. Oh, how amazing.
Yeah.
I saw him taking a pee in the woods and his dick is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like a gossip montage as news spreads over distances.
But it's
done in one
over
shot
6
in a little
feet.
crowd
Yeah.
of people that saw all the shit that they're talking about.
one single panning shot. Like, So but no,
Literally everyone was there for all the things they were
Yeah,
mentioning.
they were.
no, the quality of Campbell is good. He knows what kind of movie he's in. He's acting accordingly. He is
really
clearly the
having a good
best
time.
part of this movie. So, this is not a movie you should watch if you want a quality movie. But if you want,
It's a good time.
Like smoke a bowl or have some beers with friends and sit down and rip on this movie, and you'll probably find.
I think somebody, probably since they all know each other before, probably they were sitting around drunk or partying and were like, hey, let's go to Bulgaria and make a shitty movie.
we can sell it to sci-fi.
Well, this is this is like sci-fi's MO. It's like I said, sci-fi Saturdays were my thing. Like the early 2000s were like sci-fi's golden age. Like there was so much good shit coming out of sci-fi. Every Saturday you go watch some shitty horror movie that like it still holds special places in my heart. Like Python 2, Octopus, all that stuff. Octopus 2. All that stuff. It just holds a very special place in my heart. This right here was one of those, and all of those were always like random Bulgarian city, aka Milwaukee, or small town, USA, where everyone is like, I love to eat apple pie and have beer with baseball. Like that's
Hello, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I am native New York.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
My
How about
favorite
those
food is
Yankees?
pizza.
It honestly made me want to go to Bulgaria and make a movie.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
that would actually be a fucking
I'm
blast.
down.
Yeah, that would be
That
amazing.
sounds
All right,
good.
That's our next
podcast
project,
over.
guys.
We'll be back in a few months.
Check out our Patreon and GoFundMe. For
Yeah.
No, so I think that's pretty unanimous that all of us agree that this is like a shitty movie, but a shitty movie you can have fun with.
Oh, yeah.
So I think with the thoughts out of the way, probably a good time to get down to the nitty gritty. Groovy or not groovy?
But first, let's talk about Patreon. You can join our Groovy tier now for only $3, which includes monthly bonus episodes, early access to all Cult Talk Net podcasts, full-length audio watch-alongs, and access to our private Cult Talk Net Facebook community. Or you can join our Certified Groovy tier, now only $5 a month, which includes an additional Certified Groovy bonus episode, early recorded beta test podcast episodes on non-Campbell movies, including Jurassic Park, Tremors, Willy's Wonderland, and more. Plus, more Certified Groovy exclusive tier content. That is patreon.com/culttalknet.
And this month's episode.
Follow the cult as we dive into the 2013 remake of Evil Dead. Will it be rated groovy, not groovy? Can you rate it groovy without the man, the myth, the legend himself? Join Patreon to find out.
And our Certified Groovy exclusive bonus episode, I will be taking on Maniac Cop 2 and 3 in a very special completionist episode to find out what the rating is on the rest of Maniac Cop 2 and the third entry, Maniac Cop 3, Batch of Silence.
And now, back to the show.
Yo, she bitch. Let's go.
All right. I'll start us off.
All right.
So, I will say, this to me, I know, like, I keep pulling back to this, but, like, the first episode we did, I think, is very prevalent because we did Evil Dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great movie, not so great Campbell.
Right.
This is the antithesis of Evil Dead because this is not a great movie. It's really not. Like, honestly, if this did not have Renee O'Connor or Bruce Campbell in it, this would be your bottom of the barrel, movie dredge. It would be like that sludge at the bottom of like a $5 Walmart movie bin, which honestly, it's still the same thing. But like, it would have been, the only way you'd watch this movie is in one of those 20 movies for $3 packs they sell at bargain stores. No one would watch this movie if it was anyone but Bruce Campbell in it. Like, he is the movie. This is a Bruce movie. And Bruce is great in it. Like, he chews scenery. He's on screen. You're watching. You're paying attention.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to give it a groovy.
All right.
I'm giving like I said, shitty movie, great Bruce.
Right.
Yep.
Bruce, and what we do here on Call to Campbell, we rate the quality of Campbell. It's groovy.
Yep.
There we go. All right.
Yeah. I kept joking, not groovy through the thing. I'm like, under normal circumstances, yes. But again, this is top quality Bruce. He knows exactly what kind of movie he's in, and he plays it so perfectly. He's like, no, okay, this is gonna be a cheesy piece of shit. Yeah, let's fucking roll. So again, like, get drunk, smoke a bowl, whatever you do, watch this with your friends and rip on it, and it's groovy.
All right. There we go. What do you think, Ursa?
I think this is a social film, is what I call it.
Yeah.
If you're not watching it with people, you're probably not going to have as good of a time.
Yeah, don't pop this in and you think you're going to sit down and relax by yourself and watch it. Right. I've made that mistake. It's not fun.
I love that. I don't know if we touched on this, but I love that Bruce had the stunt doubles for like the wide walking scene.
Oh my god, it was so obvious. Yeah,
We didn't
I kept asking, is that a body double? Because it was a body double. The guy didn't even have like the same hair. He had like a big like poof like pompadour looking thing on his head.
They're like, we got wigs. We can put a wig on.
Oh, yeah, it looks close enough.
Makes me feel like Bruce was like, yeah, no, I'll just be in my trailer. Just throw a wig on that guy.
Like, I imagine all those scenes that we saw like in the midpoint of the film where he's just sucking on that potato liquor flask was just him drinking. Like, he was like, they couldn't get it away from him. He was like, just shoot it. We got 6 days to film this movie in Bulgaria. And that $1.5 million we got given to make this is looking a little thin for some reason.
Still calling bullshit.
Yeah.
And social movie. Watch it with friends. Rip on it. Bruce is Bruce in it. It's a great Bruce role. I like the character, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought it was great with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a good time.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So
What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna say groovy.
Groovy.
What about you, Eric?
Okay. So I kind of already said I agree with the sentiment that this was a bad movie with some great Campbell. The story was literally fucking everything from the Planet of the Apes to Spartacus to Christ's journey
The Bible.
like they put a
Lord
lot
of the
in
Rings.
here. The Lord of the Rings. Man, did they try to have their cake and eat it too. I don't know what led to this script. I don't know how many drugs, how many movies, how many snorts it took to get this movie down on paper, but it sure does capture the end. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Bruce pulled it all together. He said, you know what? You want your Planet of the Apes, you want your freedom story, you want your America coming back and your rebellion and shit. I'm going to give it to you in full-blown Campbell glory, baby. He delivered on this movie. And like Ursa, I agree with Ursa, everything you guys have said. This is a great movie to watch with friends. Maybe make a drinking game out of it. I don't recommend using the wigs to base the drinking off of.
I definitely would not. Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah. All that being said, I'm calling this a solid groovy on the Campbell. Baby.
Who knew this fucking movie would get a unanimous?
By our standards, this movie is now certified groovy. It earns a certified
Evil
groovy.
Dead was certified not groovy. People are going to shit down our fucking.
Oh, I know. Oh,
Well, Evil Dead was just not groovy. It wasn't certified not groovy. It was ununanimous.
Yeah,
This is a unanimous groovy. This earns a certified groovy seal.
Absolutely.
That on our criteria, we're the podcast that says that Evil Dead is not groovy. Alien Apocalypse is certified unanimously groovy.
God have mercy.
Yeah.
Please let us know what you think about that in the comments.
Yeah. But if you're going off our criteria, I defy you to say otherwise. Because if you're basing it off our criteria,
Yep.
this movie is a great Campbell roll.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely love the Campbell in this.
God
movie.
damn it, it is.
So what, certified groovy unanimously, 4 out of 4 groovy on Alien Apocalypse, certified groovy. Does anyone have a favorite Bruce moment from Alien Apocalypse?
When he was just fucking digging that bullet out.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Oh, I love it. He takes the knife and just cuts in like he's like fucking shifting like an automatic car. He's just like it's just going from gear to gear to gear, and then just takes his hand and just dives in
Fucking like have you
and
ever seen
pulls
that
out a
game
little 22
Surgeon
round.
Simulator? Have you ever seen that game Surgeon Simulator?
Yeah.
Where
Oh, yeah.
You just plunge your hand and yank fucking organs out. Like, that's what it was. That's my favorite moment for
Yeah,
you.
like I said, he pulls it out. It's like a little 22 slug. It's like.
Like, you definitely made that worse, Bruce.
Yeah, and he tells him just clean that every couple hours.
Just throw some potato liquor on it. You're good.
Doesn't even stitch him up. My favorite Bruce moment is gotta be that last shot, the picture-in-picture shot of him just having goo sprayed on him as he orgasms, because that's what it is. The visual, if you guys watch it at the end, it is a sight to behold. That is his O face. That is Bruce's O face.
Meme this if it hasn't been memed
Oh
already.
my God.
Please, somebody.
Yeah.
That was
And
amazing.
as he just orgasms, just green goo just sprays across his face. It's a sight to behold.
It was great. My favorite moment comes at the tail end of probably the worst fucking scene in this movie, but it's when he's got the crossbow squared up and he's aiming it at Shitbeard. I love this moment because, first of all, we get the Campbell just power stance and one-liner,
Yep.
and then schlocky death of horrible villain who was poorly written and poorly acted. I was glad to
And
just
poorly
see him
bearded.
out of the movie.
Yep. Yeah.
So I'd say that was a pretty good Campbell.
Yeah, that was a good line. Prognosis is terminal.
Yeah.
Now you're cured.
Exactly. Got it. Loved it.
I liked when he met the president. He's like, what? He's like, what do you mean? No, you're not doing anything. He's like, all right, fine, I'll lead him.
He's like, I shouldn't even fucking came up here.
What did I go all this way for?
Where's the goddamn time walking up this whole mountain?
Why are you acting like it's a big deal? Just get a rock or a stick or something.
He's like, these things are soft.
Chew up some paper, get a straw. Fuck.
Oh gosh.
That was a great scene.
Yeah, this is a fun movie to watch with friends. I think Urs hit it on the head when he said it's a social movie.
Social
Like,
movie.
it's definitely not something I think you should sit in and watch by yourself, because it's not fun, but
Strictly social.
strictly social is the
We
best way to
cannot
put this,
emphasize that
because
enough.
it's just a great movie. Like, if we had some beers and some other inebriants, I think it would be a lot.
Cope.
Yeah, Coke. If we'd had more Coke, it would have been a lot more enjoyable. But this was a fun movie to watch. I was not anticipating it to get a certified groovy rating.
Right.
I will say.
Well, you're just lucky we're not rating the movie.
Yes. Oh, exactly. That's always something that I like to stress is we are not rating the film. We're rating the quality of Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is quality Campbell.
Yeah.
So, I think, does anyone else have anything to say about Alien Apocalypse?
I have a lot to say, but I think
but I think we've covered the relevant. the Campbell related material in our.
I've asked this a few times. Do you think it needs a sequel? Is there any unanswered questions you want answered from me?
No. If anybody even proposes a sequel to this movie, I will shoot myself.
I mean, if it wasn't Bruce, as I always like to get a little discussion here at the end. If it wasn't Bruce, is there anyone else you guys would have liked to have seen in this role of Ivan Hood?
Oh my God.
Or do you think it would have even been
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner? Yes. Yeah. The big budget, like it's like $120 million film.
Call it Waterworld 2.
Waterworld
We're out of
2.
water.
Yeah. Lumber World. It's called Woodworld. That's what it's called.
Woodworld. Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones
Yes.
as like
Oh,
a
yeah.
crankety.
Yep. Just an angry. He'll yell him into freedom.
Yeah.
That's all he'd do. Son, you need to look at me and embrace freedom.
I think you'd make a good president in the Kevin Costner one.
We'd
have him as
There we go.
There we go. Now we're just casting the big budget reboot of
It's a
Alien.
reboot, not a sequel.
Yeah, because as Hollywood starts going through properties, things getting thin. Studios are buying up properties left and right.
Left and right.
Disney's going to look at Alien Apocalypse. They're going to buy it up, and then next summer it's Chris Hemsworth and Alien Apocalypse Resurgence.
Bruce will make a cameo. At the
Yeah, he'll
end.
have a very brief cameo. Groovy. Yeah. Groovy. There we go. I think we've talked about Alien Apocalypse enough for the night.
We have, and it's time for you to talk about it. Let us know what you think about Alien Apocalypse.
Yeah, let us know on our in the comments. Hit us up on our Instagram at CultTalkNet. We have a Patreon at CultTalkNet, or you can catch some bonus episodes. We've got watch-alongs. We have our early beta episodes, which are kind of cringy and kind of fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You'll be getting the episodes early, so you won't have to wait as long as everyone else. You'll have these episodes up early. And we'll have a lot more content up there for everybody. So it's a good place to come and interact and get some extra content from the Cult of Campbell. But until then, until next time, I think it's time to just remind everyone to stay groovy.
Hail to the king, baby.
That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.